We need to deploy the trolling motor, so we pull on the cord, the latch goes down, and the trolling motor goes out. It's engaged. I can turn the prop on. We can see the motor guide is up and powered. It's got a GPS lock. We can see the Lowrance is up and powered with a GPS lock. See if we got our trolling motor. We do. So right now, basic functions of the GPS, just tell it heading lock. And now the trolling motor is programmed to 2.1 miles per hour from the Lowrance and a heading of 193, which is a little bit west of due south, and we're right now, see the sun off our right, so we should be going about that. If I want to steer to the right, tap it, and now it's going 221. To be honest with you, that feature is a little bit touchy, and I would probably rather be using just the basic fob for steering it than this. But I can tell it to go back to the left. Yeah, come on. I can also tell it to go to a waypoint. Let's select waypoint 1. Engage the autopilot. I tell it yes. Now it's going to waypoint 1 at 1 mile an hour. If I want to go faster, today for the demo, since I'm a one-handed paper hanger with the camera operation, I'm just going to tell it 2.5 miles an hour for a moment, and it's now going to waypoint 1. When it gets to waypoint 1, I can go in the settings and tell it to hold a course and just keep tracking straight. Sometimes that's what you're going to want it to do. Or I can tell it to anchor. If waypoint 1's where I'm going to fish, then obviously I'd set it to anchor at waypoint. Let's come over here, say standby, tell it to anchor. Wants to know at a waypoint, and we're going to do it here. So now it's going to anchor. Notice you best be sitting down when you push that button, because here is where you were, so it's almost always going to do a maneuver like you just saw and head back to the coordinate where you confirmed here. We can change the display so we can see that better by going to the steering mode. Not a lot of wind today, so it doesn't really have to work hard to anchor. In fact, let's just do this. Let's go to chart. It might show that better. Now in the anchor mode, if I want to move 5 feet to the left and re-anchor, I do that. It's going to take me 5 feet to the left and then re-anchor. Slowing down, it's getting to where it thinks it should be. Let's say I wanted to go back 10 feet. I'm fishing and I'm casting underneath a dock or something, or along a weed line or some structure, and the minute I hook a fish, I want to pull the kayak back away from that to pull the fish out of the structure. Go 1, 2, it's going to go 10 feet back, and it's going to take me to the new anchor point that's 10 feet behind where the last anchor point was, the previous one. If I wanted to go that direction by 15 feet, now it's going to move me 15 feet straight ahead. And then set up a new anchor position. If I want to go back 5 feet, one push. Probably have to be careful here I don't give it so many instructions that I saturate its little computer brain. But so far it's doing what I'm telling it to. See, it's moving me backwards, and it's going to set up a new anchor position. Okay, if I don't want to anchor, I tell it standby. Let's go to the steering mode. Hit our chart here. Start route. Let's go to Route 1 and let's go forward. Engage autopilot, yes. Oops. I just remember I loaded Route 1 backward. What allowed me to know that was the red line was going somewhere I did not want it to go. Route 1. Reverse. Engage autopilot, yes. That'll do it. And it's going to take me over to the first waypoint on that route. I can give it a little more speed. So we'll bump our speed up to 3 miles an hour. So now it's heading me to the first waypoint in Route 1. Then it's going to turn, go to the second waypoint, and take me down the intercoastal to the next big creek. That's a pretty good place to fish. So if I was planning on a fishing trip to there today, the kayak is taking me there. I can rig baits and do all my preparation work hands-free while the Motor Guide XI3 takes the Hobie Outback to where we want to fish. I could do similar processes with the fob, and Motor Guide has a YouTube on how to do that. You program waypoints into the buttons, and then you build a route based upon the numbered buttons, and then tell it to do it, and it'll follow it on the route function. I always bring the fob with me, whether it's the GPS or the standard one, so that should I fall overboard, prop off is my kill switch. I keep it around my neck. If anything happens, I fall overboard, I capsize, or the motor's just doing something that I don't want it to do and taking me somewhere I don't want to go, this is your safety, the prop off. Now, if I don't want to do a speed, I can push the prop button there, make that a 0, make that a 7, make that a 5, and say okay. You heard the prop accelerate after I logged it in. So now we're running 75% power. We're navigating our route. And I have to pay attention because where I entered it and told it to do it, there might be obstacles in the way. So it hit our first waypoint, now it's going to waypoint 2. It will do what we're doing here without using the optional 0.1 compass, but it does do it better and more precisely. And the chart plotter itself, the HDS 9, is better supported using the 0.1 compass. However, right now we're going on a straight line. If I chose to, I could stand up and navigate this way, but we got a long ways to go, and I'm probably going to be more comfortable and safer sitting down. Our next waypoint is up ahead around where we see that red triangle. That's the red right returning to Florida side of the Intercoastal Waterway. As you can see, I've put my kayak route off to the side so I'm not traveling down the ICW where there's a lot of boat traffic. The nice part about having set 75% power is if I wanted to put the Hobie Mirage drive in, like we demonstrated on the basic Motor Guide XI3 video, I could pedal the Mirage drive along with the trolling motor, and instead of doing 3.6, 3.5 miles an hour over the ground, I could be doing 4.5 and I'd get there faster, but not use a lot of battery power. If it's taking me somewheres that I don't want to go, for whatever reason I put in the wrong route or somehow it's gotten confused, then we just hit the standby button and it'll stop. It won't anchor there, but it'll stop. Then if we need to anchor there, or if we saw a fish on the side scan or down scan, we could always hit standby and hit anchor, or go over here and touch the screen and make a waypoint where we saw the fish hiding around structure or just the fish itself. Make it a waypoint, hit standby, go to waypoint, and it'll take us to a position where we can hit anchor, and then we can cast to that fish. So there's a lot of advantages to using a Motor Guide XI3 in a fishing kayak, particularly if you pair it with a Lowrance or Simrad chart plotter. Then you can control that trolling motor with your chart plotter. I know a lot of people like Minn Kota, and it's a good trolling motor, and they have an equivalent to this motor you can also put on a Hobie, and it would work in a similar fashion. But if you wanted to control it from your GPS chart plotter, you'd need to have a Humminbird chart plotter. If you've got a Garmin chart plotter, it doesn't work with either of these two trolling motors at the present time, or the last time I checked. I could be wrong. Things do change. So here we're coming up on the signboard for the ICW. If we look down here, we're about to hit our turn point. Won't be much of a turn. There it goes. It's turning on the new heading. We look up in front of us, we see the posts on a port and starboard side for an entrance or exit to the next door neighborhood's marina. Because I'm wanting to stay out of the ICW and avoid that traffic, I plotted my route to go between those posts, and as I approach it, I'm going to have to look to see there's no traffic either entering or leaving that marina. But that's easier traffic situation to deal with than dealing with traffic on the major channel, the Intercoastal Waterway. We'll just do a panorama of the Sound and the ICW. We look here on the steering page of the Lowrance chart plotter. Distance to destination, 2.13 miles. Time to destination, 34 minutes and 31 seconds. This is a lot more relaxing than pedaling. It also extends my range. In fact, I'm going to be doing a project in the future where we take this on a longer range fishing trip, and we'll probably have the Mirage drive in and use the pedal assist with the trolling motor to get a longer range and better speed. Go to waypoint. Let's go back to waypoint 5. Yes. We'll speed it up a little. Let's hit this. Ah, you idiot. 7, 5. Okay. A decent sized sailboat coming. Right now we're pretty much headed at each other, but we can see on the ICW that the green marker is well off to our right. So when that vessel gets to the red marker, it's going to turn more towards the green marker to stay in the channel. With the present depth we're at, I doubt that the sailboat would want to be over here. You can see our line going to waypoint 5 is well to our left of the green marker. So when that sailboat gets down in this area, it'll be over in the white area that marks the intercoastal waterway. Since they have a keel, they definitely don't want to get out of the channel. You get in the channel, you got 10 to 12 feet of water. You get out of the channel, you might not even have 5 feet of water. Take the trolling motor and use it with the fob for a moment. Okay. The M button is manual. When I hit it, I told the trolling motor, don't use the GPS. Work like a basic trolling motor with a basic fob. So I just put it in a straight line function. Now I can steer the kayak with my rudder, as we demonstrated on the basic modes. And with an Outback, I can use either the left or the right hand, whichever one is free. Let's do this. So we're right now driving the kayak using just the manual modes to get ourselves to a position we want to go to. And so cold. Let's go to waypoint 03. And it's put me in the nav mode. Now navigating to a waypoint that's in front of our marina. And let's put it to prop speed. And let's go 75%. Okay. So if you only had the Pinpoint GPS and did not have the Lowrance interface, you could accomplish pretty much the same using the fob. This controls speed there. This is the prop, faster or slower for the speed. Prop, faster or slower for the speed. We saw the chart plotter has the ability to call up a requester and type in the speed. That's kind of nice to have. Standby on here stops the navigation mode so you can control it to do whatever you need to do. Avoid hitting a pylon if that's in your way. Well, so if we thought we were going to hit the pylon, we'd hit standby and then control with the rudder. Or on the fob, we'd hit the manual button and then control with the rudder, or you could control with the left-right arrows too. Okay, so let's go back here with the chart plotter. Let's go to standby. Let's do this. Menu. Go to waypoint. Let's go to waypoint number 1. This might take me over nav. Give myself some power. Now I want this. And away we go. Oh, there it goes. It's going to anchor. Whoa. And there we are.